Hey guys, and welcome to a Spyderco knife video. This is not really a review. This is more just some thoughts and the reasons why I'm into Spyderco knives. So as I said in my EDC video, I come from archery, from outdoors, and from pocket knives, and it just basically led into crafting, knife making, leatherwork, which is basically now my trade. But originally, I got my first pocket knife when I was 6 years old, and the rest is history, so to say. I never had the funds, or let's say it like that. I had the funds, fortunately, to get wonderful knives like Spyderco, Benchmates and stuff, but I never really had the funds or wanted to spend the money on collecting the very expensive knives that, for me, expensive is a knife that is probably in euro 120, 150, 200, 3, 4, 500. That is all expensive, but it basically starts for me around 100 and something euro. And because I wanted to get all kind of different knives, that made it even more difficult to afford that kind of money for a knife. But it is not necessary. And although I have some Sun Renmu knives that are $7 or something like that, and I really like the value about them, and I had occasionally more expensive knives. I never started collecting them, and it was sometimes hard to resist the new models coming out every year from so many cool knife makers. But YouTube helped me very much to kind of distinguish and to find out what I want to invest into and what is worth investing into. So I never really had a knife that I bought and I really hated it and I wanted to get rid of it right away. Eventually I got rid of some because I just didn't find them to fit my style, or I just didn't use them a lot. But everything narrowed down to Spyderco over the years, and they have some amazing models, like pricey amazing models. And they have some very affordable, wonderful, very good models. And I buy them from America, so usually they don't cost me as much as in Europe. In Europe, some Spydercos that are $70, $80 in the US cost like 130 euro somewhere in Europe. So why Spyderco? The first thing is the hole. So when the very first time I went to YouTube, I found some Spyderco knives and catalogs on YouTube. I just thought oh my god, I will never get one of those knives. It's so ugly. But as many things in life, it grew on me, and eventually I got me the first. It was a Tenacious at the time. I think it was because of a Not Fancy video, and I just loved the ergonomics and the, I don't want to say tactical feel, but Spyderco definitely has some knives in their lineup that are more tactical. And I'm gonna get to this just in a second, but I just liked how the knife was and how much it cost me compared to what it really did, because at the time there were some horrible pocket knives available in Austria from Böker and from Helberts, which is two German companies, and I don't like their quality at all. I think the steel, at the time, the steel sucked really bad. It was like 420 steel. It would never take an edge, and if it somehow took an edge, holding it into some sharp wind actually made it dull. So it was horrible. So compared to that 8CR 13 MOV of the Tenacious, I think, was really good. So I kept going on, and here and there I got me one knife after another. And here in this lineup there's only two missing, which is the Tenacious and the Centofante, which is Italian. I would call it a designer knife and a gentleman's knife that I used to have in my work pants when I was working at the restaurant. And also those two knives are amazing quality. The Centofante being extremely lightweight, hollow ground, very elegant, very ergonomic at the same time. And the Tenacious, of course, being a tank, just being undestroyable, although being a liner lock. But they're missing here. So what are the reasons why I love Spyderco? And one of these reasons is the more or less tactical Spidey hole. So from my point of view, the Spyderco hole which comes in different sizes. Very small, for example, in the ladybug. Just move it over here a little bit. Very small in the ladybug. Then we have, I think, nearly the same sizes, or like a little bit like bigger here on the dragonfly, a little bit bigger again here on the, or very much the same size for the UKPK, the Delica, and the Endura. And I'm not gonna go over any specs in this video because it's just purely not meant for going over specs and reviewing the specs and everything. What I found is that the Spidey hole on the Salt 1, which is this like Delica kind of size, compared to the Pacific Salt being more the Endura kind of size. The Spidey hole on this one is a lot bigger, which is a really good idea, because what is this knife gonna be used for? And that gets me into the main reason why I love Spyderco knives. They have a knife for every task, literally. There is a lot of nice companies out there: Benchmade, Emerson, CRKT, Kershaw, and I like Kershaw, for example, very much. Emerson not so much, but definitely all of them, and I didn't mention many of the mainstream brands. All of them have knives for certain tasks. But I don't think anybody gets the ergonomics and the specialization, so to say, done as well as Spyderco. So you have a range of small knives. You have the man bug, you have the ladybug, you have all kind of small knives like this that I just throw into a pocket. I have it over the whole year, for example, in the chest pocket of my jacket. I forget about it, but it's there when I need it. Does that lack any ergonomics? Like, is it a small keychain knife that just doesn't do the job and it's just there for looks? No, it's not. I put a lanyard on the back here. This is what the hole is for. Then I have a 4-finger knife, believe it or not, in a knife that size. Open it with one hand. Have a 4-finger knife. I have a finger choil here, I have a nice thumb ramp here, and this is still Japanese VG10 steel that's shaving sharp. Believe me or not, I'm not gonna go over sharpness, shaving, or like paper cut tests, but it's totally capable, and it's gonna be there when I need to cut the seatbelt in the car when I had an accident. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. These are not weapons, you know, these are tools for me. I'm from Europe. I'm from Austria. I don't need a tactical knife on me or anything like that. So for many years, actually, this was my main EDC blade. It's the Dragonfly. It's very small indeed as well. It's a small knife, but it is 4-finger capable. Flick it open in front of the camera. The last finger goes onto this ramp here. Believe it or not, this is really designed that way. Finger choil, it fits in here perfectly, and it's just the size that like makes small food prep, cutting stuff open possible. And nowadays, this is the knife I would take with me when I go for a run, or I'm wearing surf shorts or something in summer, and I'm not around water. The wire clip as well makes it just that much better. So then again, I'm going to different countries and I'm not capable or not able to bring one of the other ones, like in the UK or in Germany. They either gotta be lockable or they gotta be like one-handed knives. So I have the, sorry for the shaking. So I have the perfect option here, and this is what I took to the UK. UKPK half stop, like one of the very nice like classic folding knives. And again, the ergonomics are so great that it would never ever fold on me, because I can put my finger here. Is it a does it make it a like a less tactical or whatever blade? No, it's not a tactical blade at all in the first place, but it's just a great size. It's legal in most countries. It is thin. It has a nice steel. This one is this like BD1 steel, and I found it to take a very very nice edge. And this one cost me probably $35 in the US. It's super lightweight because it doesn't have any liners in it. The spring bar doesn't go all the way back, but it still has a very nice tension. a wire clip. Just a wonderful knife, really good knife. And because of the thin blade, what you do mostly with this kind of knives is food prep anyways, so it serves really well in that matter. So Spyderco came out with a whole different, like a whole range of knives for countries that have different knife laws. Like they've came out recently with I think it DK something that that's legal in Denmark. It still has a hole, but the hole is so tiny that it's not you're not able to open it with one hand. So it's even legal in those countries, and that's something very special about mainstream knife brands, really going with customer wishes and advices and everything. So this knife here got me before my Thailand journey. I've been to Thailand for a few weeks, actually training there at Tiger Muay Thai, and just wanted to have a knife that I could cut fruits with, bring it to the beach and everything. That was not looking like a weapon or anything, but it was capable of citrus fruits. It was capable of dealing with the salt water. So I just went ahead and got me the salt one in this bright yellow. I'm a really big fan of like handle colors for different tasks. So I would never lose this one, like when it's lying around somewhere, or it's in my bag, or it's in a suitcase or something that's usually dark. Especially having a backpack that is dark inside, it's really nice to have those bright colors to find it quickly. And I still have my lanyard option. And this one has a bigger Spidey hole. The Spyderco hole is a wonderful thing because even with, unlike the thumb stud that I was a very big fan as well of, but even with gloves in winter, or if you're part of a like ambulance team or like security, law enforcement, military, anything, you still can open the knife with one hand. And here on this one, the Spyderco hole is even bigger. Why? Because diving, you might wear neoprene gloves and they're very thick, and there you go, you can still open it. This one comes in different styles, blade wise, and this is the first knife I ever got completely serrated. But it is, after all, a diving knife, and it is a wonderful rescue knife. Why? It has a locking mechanism. It has actually pretty like thick stock for a knife that size, and it has a sheepfoot's blade. So whenever I would cut something off my body, like a seat belt, a rope, a net, when I'm like snorkeling, anything that I would cut like from off my body, I would not pierce myself. Unlike one of the maybe more pointy blades like this, going along my body like this, just one wrong move and it's gonna stick into me, right? Gonna pierce myself. So that's another reason why I like the bigger knives of Spyderco. They all have a more or less sheepfoot style blade. So just a wonderful knife again, and I'm probably gonna get me more of this range because a guy sometimes said this knife is even gonna cut when it's dull, and that's true. You're in a situation where you really want to use this for a long time and you don't have any means to resharpen it. It's gonna be dull, and guess what? It's still gonna cut a seatbelt or a rope because of the way it's designed. And Spyderco definitely has some of the nicer serrations out there. So then to my main EDC knives that I carry really on a daily basis. It's the Delica and the Enduro. Two different sizes, both orange handles, because camping, being around water, being in a tent at night, I'm gonna find this knife, or these knives. And since they are tools, I'm a really big fan of orange knife handles and orange color in general when it comes to outdoors. So both of these knives have a more or less, and this one has a super nice spring. Delica is just a really good option and extremely nice value, especially being Japanese steel as well, VG10. I am in Japan right now. This video is shot from Japan, and I've been to Seki City in Gifu-ken, where they make the blades, and this is a wonderful steel. And even this knife has a less pronounced but still existing sheep's foot that is by now introduced into all I think the Delica and the Enduro line, just in order to not cut me when I want to cut along my own body for some reason. It's a wonderful knife. The ergonomics, as on the other ones, are just great. I have like pretty stubby but pretty wide hands, and it still fits me perfectly. Yeah, what can I say? It's just a really, really nice knife. And finally, you can probably see it from the faded color and the scratched blade. This is my most used EDC knife. Why is that? I can carry a knife that size in Austria. It's an orange knife. It's not a weapon. You know, it has a backlock, so I trust this one very much. I wouldn't baton with it or anything, but I'm not batoning with a knife. I have an axe for that. So, it is pretty oversized. So even people with bigger hands gonna love this. Has great ergonomics. In any possible position in hand. I don't know why I would use it in this position or this grip, but it is wonderful. It has a long, completely flat ground blade with a little bit of sheep's foot or like leaf shape, however you want to call it. So it's still very nice to use it in a security situation. Spidey hole is great size, and being rather thin in the stock and being like a full flat grind, this is a wonderful knife for daily food prep, opening stuff, security situations, like rescue situations, fishing, camping, you name it. You will not go wrong taking this knife with you. It has tiny spots on it, rust spots, but guess what? I think I did some food prep with this, with some acidic stuff, and I left the stains on it for probably 2 or 3 months, rotating through some other of my EDC knives, and I just cleaned it off right before this video, and that treatment left probably tiny little, I don't know if you can even see it, but it left some tiny rust spots on it, and I'm gonna go over the strop once and they're gonna be gone. So that much about VG10 steel and how capable it is to take care of water and acids and everything. So this video got a lot longer than I actually intended it. I hope that I did those wonderful knives justice, and I hope that I made it not too boring for you guys. I just wanted to get out the word how extremely versatile this brand is, and how much I like it, that there are knives in a very good price range, high value, for all kinds of different life situations. No matter if you're like a camper, a bushcrafter, a fisherman, a law enforcement guy, a doctor, an ambulance guy, just somebody who's doing a lot of hiking and needs a rescue blade or something, a diver, it doesn't matter, you're gonna be fine with this brand. And they offer you a wonderful service. I lost once the pivot screw here on this one, sent an email to the US, to Spyderco, and a few weeks later, weeks because the shipping just took a while, but I just got a bag full of screws and all kind of stuff for this knife, and they didn't ask any questions. They just sent me the stuff, said sorry in a tiny letter, and I was amazed because this is like a $65 knife, right? And so there is nothing bad I could actually report about this company. If you need a knife that's capable of serving you a lifetime, and you're not into big knives or big bucks for knives and stuff like that, go for Spyderco. You're gonna be really happy with it. I hope this video was fun for you to watch and it was helpful. If you need anything, or like you need some more information on any of the different models, or you just in general want to leave critical feedback about how I do my videos, just please write a comment into the section for the comments below, and I would be happy about a thumbs up and a subscription to my channel, since I really want to get into this, and I'm actually into this for a very long time, but now I want to get into this in front of the camera and not just in front of the screen. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for watching. Over and out here from Japan. Cheers.